Deep in the quiet forest lived a little squirrel named Sammy. Sammy loved collecting acorns more than anything else. He would gather them from all around the forest, storing them in his cozy tree hole to eat during the winter. But there was one special acorn that he never touched. It was a shiny golden acorn that his grandpa once gave him. "This is the acorn of hope," Grandpa said. "Keep it safe and share it when someone needs it most." Sammy didn't understand what that meant, but he kept the acorn safe in his collection. One day, a big storm hit the forest. Tall trees fell, the wind howled, and many animals lost their homes. Sammy was very scared. He hid in his tree hole as the wind and rain beat against him. When the storm finally stopped, he peeked outside. His home was gone. The wind had blown apart his tree and scattered his things all over the forest floor. Sammy felt sad and scared, but then he remembered his grandpa's words. He took out the acorn of hope and gently carried it through the forest. He didn't know who needed hope, but he was determined to find someone. As he walked, he saw his friend Tilly the turtle. Her shell house was broken, and she was sitting inside, hugging her knees. "I lost my home," Sammy said, feeling tears in his eyes. "I don't have anywhere to live now." Tilly looked up sadly. "Me neither," she whispered. "The wind blew my house apart. I'm too little to build a new one, and I'm too slow to find another cozy house in the forest before winter." Sammy wanted to help, but he didn't know what to do. Then he remembered the acorn of hope. "I want you to have this," he said kindly. Tilly tilted her head. "What? But you'll be all alone. And what is this?" "It's the acorn of hope," Sammy said. "My grandpa told me to share it with someone who needed hope. You need hope, Tilly, and I think this will help." As soon as Tilly touched the golden acorn, it began to glow with a warm, gentle light. Suddenly, a magical tree grew from the ground. Its leaves and branches sparkled with gold, and there was a cozy little house nestled in its roots. "Oh, wow," Sammy and Tilly said at the same time. They both stared at each other, surprised. Then they ran into the magical treehouse. It was small but cozy, with soft moss for a bed, sparkling dewdrops hanging from the ceiling like crystal chandeliers, and sweet berries growing in every color imaginable. Sammy and Tilly were amazed. They had a home, and it was even more magical than anything they could have imagined. "Thank you, Sammy," Tilly said. "You brought me hope when I needed it most." Sammy felt happy that he could help his friend, but as he looked around the magical treehouse, he felt a little sad. He knew this wonderful home wasn't meant for him. Just then, Tilly noticed his long face. "What's wrong, Sammy?" she asked. "I'm glad we have this wonderful home, Tilly," Sammy said, "but I can't stay here. My grandpa told me to share the acorn of hope with someone who needed it most." "You needed it most, Tilly. But I also need a home. Where will I go when winter comes?" Tilly knew what it was like to be cold and alone in the winter. She didn't want her best friend to feel that way, so she had an idea. "Let's share the acorn of hope," she said. "We don't need all this magic for ourselves. If we share it, maybe we can help other forest animals who need it most." Sammy thought about this for a moment. "That's a wonderful idea, Tilly," he said. "Let's bring some hope to the forest." So Sammy and Tilly gathered all the forest animals together. They shared the acorn of hope with a family of rabbits, and the magical acorn helped them build a burrow under the roots of a big oak tree. Next, they shared some of the acorn's magic with a family of deer whose home was destroyed by the storm. The magic helped them grow a shelter from fallen leaves and twigs, and last, they shared their hope with an old owl whose feathers were blown away in the storm. The magic helped the owl grow strong, new feathers. As the sun set that evening, Sammy and Tilly sat on a nearby branch, watching all the animals playing in their new homes. Sammy felt a little sad that he didn't have a home of his own, but he was happy that he had helped his friends. That's when Tilly nudged him and whispered, "Look." Sammy looked around in confusion until he saw the magical tree from earlier. Its branches were even more sparkly than before, and there was a cozy little nest in its roots. "Oh, wow," Sammy said. "So this is for me?" Tilly smiled. "Of course. You brought hope to the forest, Sammy. So the forest has brought you a home. This is your reward." Sammy climbed into the magical treehouse. It was perfect. There was a window to watch the sunrise, a fireplace made of twigs and leaves to keep him warm, and a big, soft bed of moss to sleep on. Sammy had never felt so happy and at peace. As he snuggled down in his new home, Sammy knew he would never forget the lesson he learned that fall. Sometimes the greatest reward is the hope we share with others.